Hey guys, it is a super nice day here and I just mostly finished planting our garden, and so I thought I would take you on a little bit of a tour. First of all, this cool structure right behind me is a playhouse that my husband and my brother built for the kids. I'm really excited about it because we used to have a playhouse that was small. It was like 4 feet, I think, and the kids kind of outgrew it. And this one is so tall I can stand up in it. I'll show you here. Okay, here I am inside of it, and I have like lots of space. And then we've set up really cool lights so that when it's, you can't see them, so that when it's dark out, then they can be out there, and they're solar powered, so we never have to worry about that, about plugging it in. Okay, so most of our garden is seeds, so that things aren't coming up yet, but I did just finish planting everything. So yeah, let's take you on a little tour. This is our compost bin that my father-in-law made for us. It's pretty cool. We just got it this year, so I'm not sure how efficient it will work, but I'm excited about that. We have an entire bed of raspberries here, which we love the fresh raspberries, but I'm actually very annoyed at, you know, how much it suckers and it goes into the other garden beds, so that's really annoying. But here I have carrots on the first part of this bed, and then there's going to be peas. We have a pretty late planting season here in Saskatchewan, so like final frost is kind of just right around now. So yeah, it's a lot later than a lot of places. Here I have a zucchini plant and my rhubarb. Actually, I think my rhubarb is ready to harvest. What I learned last year is that you want them to be about 12 inches long, and the color doesn't matter, and you just pull it out instead of cutting it. So I might just harvest a few of them here. There you go, we're not even into June and I have my first rhubarb harvest. They get a lot bigger as time goes on, but the first one's always exciting. I have a couple different rhubarb recipes on my blog, which I can link to. So now what I'll do yet is I will cut the tops off and put those in the compost, and then we will use the stems. Okay, so I have my zucchini and my rhubarb. This bed is going to be potatoes. Now, we don't have great success with potatoes in beds, but I did watch a video with some tips this year, so maybe we will get a little bit more. In here we have cucumber, which Reika wants to use for pickling cucumbers, and then hopefully we can get them to train to go up on these here. We will, yeah, we did not have good success last year, so we'll see if this year is any better. In this bed we have red onions. Jared planted those a few weeks ago. And then on this side over here we're gonna have carrots as well. And then I just planted my tomatoes. These we start inside in about March, end of March. Jared always does the indoor planting. And we have these snow crab trees, which have beautiful flowers. They're almost all blooming, and they attract a lot of bees, which is really good for our garden. And speaking of attracting things, we do have a couple different bird feeders as well. There's one there, and then we have a hummingbird feeder, which we saw a hummingbird yesterday for the very first time. And then we have another sunflower feeder for, we get finch and sparrows mostly, and I'm hoping to get chickadees this year. So yeah, there's our tomatoes. And then this bed here is our strawberries. This is probably like my favorite part of the garden because I love strawberries and they're already blooming, so that means good things. I used to have this bed here also strawberries, but we kept having some die off every year, so I transplanted a bunch of them this year, like this guy and this guy and that guy over there. So hopefully they will all thrive in here and we'll have a good strawberry patch. So many bees. I love these trees. They are green so quickly in the spring. They're the first things to turn green, and yeah, the flowers come out nice and early, and then the bees I planted a hummingbird like variety thing in here that is supposed to be able to learn to come and to trail up here and hopefully attract hummingbirds. And then in this bed here I have my other zucchini and then peppers. Okay, so I just barely planted these guys, and this one, the roots did not come with the plant, so I think he's probably gonna shrivel up and die right away. But this guy looked pretty good. The peppers we just plant from pepper seeds that we get from the grocery store. And then in here Jared does have some flowers, which I think I will put in there yet. And oh, one other tip. We've learned that if you put a lot of eggshells in with tomato plants, the calcium is supposed to be really good for them. So normally when we dig the hole to put the tomatoes in, we also put some eggshells in there. And I also just like spread a bunch from our compost, a bunch of eggshells in there this year. That's what all the white stuff is. So that is our backyard garden. We do have some stuff on the side of the house as well. So this year we planted some watermelon in the front in a warm area. And then this over here is, we have 2 compost bins that have compost from before our tumbler, and I've put some worms in there because I have some worms from inside. I have a couple clips of me putting them in here, which I might insert. This is where I keep my worms in the basement, and to be honest, they completely gross me out. So I just took a chunk out of here. Normally the newspaper is all over. I'm gonna put on my gloves because they're disgusting. So I kind of just took a ton out of there. So I'm gonna move this over. And I'm gonna get some out of this side. I'm gonna use my little pail and trowel here. Okay, you can't see them in there because they like to stay away from the light. If I go like this, there they are. And I'm going to put them in this tumbling composter that my father-in-law made for us. I have a bunch of, I actually added some worms in here the other day. And just a bit of grass clumps and compost in there. I'm gonna close this up and then tumble it. And the kids are just playing in the background. Okay. See what that does. That really shook things up. I don't see a single worm right now. So we'll just let them do their work. And what else we got back here? There's a bee, I think it's called a bee hotel. And so far we have tons of bees, but I don't think they're using the hotel yet, which, I mean, if they want to just use our backyard to eat and then go live somewhere else, that's fine with me too. Yeah, so I have some potatoes planted on the side of the house, and then we planted some flower bulbs, which I can't remember what they were called, but see if those come up, and then the watermelon. And I'm loving this playhouse. I'm going to paint the roof slash sides yet a blue color. Oh, the wind, the Saskatchewan wind. Anyway, that is my garden tour. I'm hoping to do like a monthly update. So July, August, September. And yeah, see the garden grow. I am always interested because we live in a place that's quite a bit farther north than a lot of other people's who I watch their videos, it's always interesting to see like how early people are planting, in my opinion, when I'm used to planting end of May. But our garden comes together because we're farther north, so the sun is up like till 10 o'clock in the middle of summer, so we get more sunlight hours, so we make up for it that way. But yeah, I just thought it would be an interesting thing to document, both for myself and maybe for other people who live in different climates as well.